1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Hello, hello, internet world. So, I got a very special video for you today. I pulled another notebook off the shelf, but it was just more of the same. It was another one of those stories that could have been in the speed run. You know, it's another story about some people doing shit or whatever, kind of trying to be serious or something. And then, ultimately, the story being abandoned, shit like that. So I'm like, you know what? I want to read something funny, because, I don't know, like 5, 6 years ago or something, I got really big into writing comedy. Well, I had always been big into writing comedy fan fictions. And this is half a fan fiction. It's interesting, okay. I got into writing comedy. And I got into writing comedy for the first time when I was 11 or 12. Actually a little before that. Anyway, I don't fucking remember. I've always liked comedy. I love comedy. Comedy makes life so much nicer. So, I got back into writing comedy after having been depressed for a couple of years and writing a bunch of dirge stories about equally depressed people to me. But then I decided to write funny stuff again. So this is one of these funny stories. This is from a couple of years ago. I forgot exactly when, but basically I'm dragging it on, so I'm going to be quick. And the story will explain itself, but basically this series, it's like kind of fan fiction, kind of not. Like some characters are characters from other things, like books, movies, and stuff. But then, as you'll see in the second episode of this, and also the first, what am I talking about? It shows up right there in the first episode. Anyways, but the two main characters are my own creation, you know. But they just interact with characters that are already existing in the world. Because that's what I like to do. I like to do fan fiction. I like to do the Dante's Inferno style, where you just pull any character you want from anywhere, whether it could be your best friend, it could be your favorite character from your favorite novel, or somebody you saw in a movie. You mix them all together in a blender, you know, and shit like that. So anyways, this episode is a parody of a certain fucking episode of Andy Griffith. Because I like Andy Griffith for the most part. I haven't watched it in years, but I used to watch it on TV, and it was funny, and I liked it. But, like, once in a while I would see an episode that's just like, well, that's fucking dated. And this was the worst offender at all. So if you don't know, I'm pretty sure by the title of this, that the Andy Griffith Show episode is something about saving a female. And that already should tell you something ain't right. But if you want, go look up that episode for yourself, and you'll see how this is basically just a spoof of that, like a parody of it. What's the difference between a parody and a spoof? Are they the same thing? Anyway, it's making fun of it and basically following the story, but then going off. Anyways, without further ado, because you know I fucking ramble on, let me just read, and hopefully the story will explain itself. So, prologue. Since the pilot episode of this TV show isn't done yet, I'll fill you in. Basically, our two main characters are Dawson and Joshie. Dawson is a mystery-solving newspaper reporter, kind of accidental detective, who is pretty self-conscious and meek-ish, but always gets who he's after. He was the main character of a 70s TV show called Pitcherstown Writer, which was about an Ohio town called Pitcherstown, where mysteries and shit were always happening, and Dawson would investigate. It was set in the 1880s, and had tons of historical inaccuracies, but the show had a cult following. Joshie is one of the main characters in a late 80s, early 90s sitcom. She's a bartender in a dive bar/club, frequented by a bunch of punks and stoners, kind of like a rock version of Cheers, which I've never seen, by the way, but I just know it's about people that go in a bar. Even though I've never seen Cheers. It's all, okay. She's a total sleazeball, always oogling at the male customers who she thinks are cute, and talking tons of shit. She drinks, smokes, curses, and is sloppy and has a low voice. Early 90s tomboys, God, I miss that trope. When will it come back, please? When will it come back? Anyway. everything is going okay for these two characters. Even though their shows have been canceled for years, they live on in reruns, blissfully unaware of the changing world around them, until the year 2000 and something teen, basically, because it says 201X, so any time in the 2000 teens, I suppose. That is the year when big-ass TV network corporation decides to remake both shows and make them all updated for the modern world. Joshie and Dawson get the boot. Dawson gets replaced by this tough guy who's a sheriff instead of a reporter, typical, and is always interrogating people by kicking the shit out of them and hitting them with his rifle, typical. You know what's funny? I used to, obviously I put this in here because it used to annoy the shit out of me. I'm just like, why? Why does this have to happen every fucking episode? I get so heated and so mad. But just the other day, I was watching this fucking show with my grandma, and the main character, was a cop. He was beating the shit out of some person who he was interrogating, and I was sitting, I didn't enjoy it. It still irritated me, but I'm just like, yeah, I expect that. I expect that. So, I guess I'm just fucking jaded now. Anyway, Joshie gets replaced by this cutesy girly girl, very watered down rocker. Yeah, you know the type. Think like Mila Kunis or Emma Stone. Yeah, call those bitches out. Type of character. She still drinks and curses, but only now for sex appeal. Yes, of course. She is stripped of all masculinity, and they add a love affair with her 17 years older boss. Yes, of course. Dawson and Joshie meet and realize they're in the same boat, so they jump in Joshie's car and head to Hollywood. They go up to the corporate master and demand their shows back. He just laughs at them and says never, and kicks them out. They swear revenge and hit the road. And now, our feature presentation of Genre Travelers. Yay! Genre Travelers was so fun. I wrote 4 episodes, I think. Episode 1. Joshie and Dawson save a female? It's like female ... question mark, Because, the original version episode is just like Andy Griffith saves a female or something. Like, no question mark, You get the point. Our episode begins with our 2 characters driving down some empty-ass highway. Nothing but dusty dirt and telephone poles as far as the eye can see. Joshie is driving and trying to get radio, but all she gets is static, and probably Christian radio, because when you're out in the middle of nowhere, you get Christian radio, in case you don't know. Joshie, goddamn, 100 miles and nothing, not even Christian radio, wow, this is just finishing all my sentences. I shouldn't even comment. I shouldn't even make comments. I'd kill for even just some Switchfoot right now. Yeah, Switchfoot. Dawson, hanging out in the passenger seat. What's the difference? All that loud banging. How can you even call that music? Joshie, oh yeah, because he's supposed to be from the 1880s. Joshie scoffs, you just don't understand good musicianship. She looks up ahead and sees buildings of a small town. Joshie, thank God, at least some human life. Dawson, are you sure you want to stop there? I get a feeling from it shifts uncomfortably. Joshie blows him off. Any fucking town is good enough for me. Besides, Suddenly the staticky radio goes off and the car rolls slowly to a halt. Joshie. ... Gas. Flops her head on the steering wheel, all frustrated. Dawson. ... Starts whistling awkwardly. Joshie sighs, sits up. Well, let's get out and push. Just as she's about to get out of the car, a cop car pulls up. We don't actually see it, but we see the red and blue lights flashing off Joshie's windows. The 2 of them freeze in fear. Joshie whispers, fuck, it's one of them. Dawson, maybe if we just sit here, he'll go away. I like how Dawson, doesn't make any effort to, speak, even, a fake, you know how in, shows, especially older shows, from the 50s, 60s and stuff, they'll at least try to kind of put on, I'm speaking an old-timey voice, Nah, Dawson doesn't give a fuck. Maybe if we just sit here, he'll go away. Joshie. Yeah, maybe he'll see we don't have anything he wants. Dawson. We weren't breaking any laws. Joshie. Who knows what kind of backwoods ass laws they got out here. He might kick our asses just for fun. Yep. Dawson. Don't say that. Joshie. Shh. Shut up. He's coming over. Oh my god. I have to tell you something. The other day, I was driving around trying to do my damn delivery job. I got lost because they had one of those stupid fucking roads where you're supposed to turn left in the middle of the road and there's no warning and fucking cars were coming the other way, so I went past it. Then when I was trying to go through the little residential area so I could turn around and go back where I was coming from, fucking, like, I was just driving, and keep in mind, at this point there was no other cars on the street. There was no pedestrians. I was the only one there in this little area. So I turned the corner, and I was driving pretty slow, too, because I was trying to, keep my eye out for where I was supposed to go. So pretty much my risk was, like, at 0, or close to it. Then I noticed, yeah, like it says, red and blue lights in my window, or in my mirror. But the cop didn't have a siren, nothing like that. And I was just like, stupidly, I'm like, well, not stupidly, I mean, I don't know where he's going, so I'm like, oh, maybe, and he was on a bike, he didn't have a car. He was on a motorcycle. So I'm like, maybe he wants to pass me. So I pulled over, and he, like, stops, and I'm just like, oh, he wanted to pull me over, but he didn't fucking say anything, or make any sound, or any, like, he's just depending on me to see the lights. What if I'm looking at my front window and I don't see the lights? It's daytime. Anyways, I'm just like, oh, he's pulling me over. I'm just like, what the fuck kind of stupid ass reason can he be pulling me over for? Like, what can I have possibly fucking done? Is he pulling me over because I didn't fucking let him go in front of me fast enough? But if he really wanted to, he could have gone around my car because, like I said, I was the only one on the road. I was in this little residential area. It was just like houses and like this quiet ass street. So he really could have gone around me. But he comes up to my car. And keep in mind, he didn't even come up to my window right away. He's like taking his sweet ass time and shit. But I rolled down my window and I was like, hey, because I always fucking initiate shit because I am impatient. Speaking of which, the other fucking day, I was at this intersection, I was lost because my GPS kept telling me to go through this construction site that's just always fucking there for blocks and blocks. And it kept it kept telling me to go into the construction zone. Obviously, I couldn't. And so I was driving around trying to get around the zone. And I got to this one corner and I was lost. And I was just like, there was other cars coming from the other directions. And I was trying to get through. But I was trying to figure out which way I should go. So I was pausing. And there was no car behind me. So I'm like, okay, I could take a second to figure out where I'm supposed to go. And then this other fucking car to my right side was trying to, go through the intersection. And I motioned to them to go, and there was another car like coming the opposite way of me, and I told them both just go, and the one here went, so that was cool, but the bitch over here was just sitting there, and I motioned like a million times for her to go, and she just fucking like, and I'm just like, bitch, I'm fucking lost. Why are you playing fucking chicken with me? Like, that is not even cool. Some people are just such fucking assholes that they're just like, they're just like, oh, because you wanted me to do it, I'm not going to do it. I have all day. I could just sit here all day because I'm not going to move. And I'm just like, I was so fucking mad, and I sat there for a little bit, but I'm pretty impatient. And plus I was trying to make a delivery or whatever, or get to a place where I was supposed to do the shopping. I was supposed to do something. And then I changed my turn because I was trying to go straight at first. But then I was like, no, why should I give this bitch the satisfaction of me going in front of her? So instead I changed my turn signal to go right. So I drove right past her and I was just like, fuck you. I just mouthed it through the window. But I didn't roll my window down. I didn't do the classic thing of like rolling my window down and screaming it and like shoving my middle finger up against the window and shit like that. I didn't do any of that. I don't know. But I did mouth to her like, fuck you, like pretty clear. But anyways, I don't understand why people have to fucking be like that. Why can't you just be a nice person for once? Why do people love to be fucking like, people just love conflict. People just love to take any fucking opportunity at all to just be a total fucking dick instead of just being like, okay, I'll help you out. I'll go so you can so you can have a clear intersection. No. Ugh, fucking dick. Anyway, what was I saying about the cop? The cop pulled me over and he was like, you went through the stop sign, and I didn't even remember there being a stop sign, but it's just like, you know, when you're driving, you're kind of on autopilot, especially if you have a job where you drive all day, like I do. You're kind of on autopilot, and I'm like, okay, I'm sure, I didn't want to tell him, like, well, I didn't see the sign, like, as if I'm not, like, looking, you know, like, I was looking, but it's just like, you know, I probably saw it in a second, and then I, like, you know, then I forgot about it a second later, but I'm like, I can't imagine I would just go through a stop sign, but anyways, and he was just like, oh yeah, people go through that stop sign all the time, that's why they assigned me here, to just watch this one stop sign, and I'm just like, thinking like, this fucking bougie ass neighborhood needs to fucking, all of the people who have ever complained about that stop sign, first of all, if there's a trend of people going through that stop sign, maybe it means the stop sign is not fucking visible enough or is not doing something right, because if a lot of people are going through it to where they hired their own personal fucking fucking stop sign cop for this one sign, then maybe there's something wrong with the fucking sign. And secondly, if these people are so, I'm not one of these like privileged Nazis and shit like that. I say, hey, if you have privilege, who gives a fuck? Use it, because life is hard as hell. Life is hard as hell for everyone, and I say everybody should use every little scrap of privilege they got to help get it by, you know. But if people are so privileged over the top, like when these fucking woke Nazis are coming at like innocent working class stiffs like me who are just trying to get by, these people in this neighborhood are the ones they really should be coming for, because if you're so fucking privileged and you're so fucking bougie and your problems in your life are so minimal that you have to complain about a fucking stop sign and hire your own personal cop for, there's a whole cop to watch this one stop sign. I couldn't fucking believe it. I don't know how many hours he's there every day, but I just couldn't fucking believe it. That's move that bitch out of there. Get his little piglet ass somewhere where he can be used better, and just fucking shut down the whole thing. One stop sign, and there was nobody on the street. Like, I could understand if, like, oh, you took a turn and you didn't look where you were going, you were looking straight when you should have been looking in the direction you were going, you tried to take a left turn, you almost fucking ran somebody over. Then a cop can pull you over, and I wouldn't be opposed to that, because you were being an asshole. You should look. There's plenty of people in Sacramento who don't fucking look, and they just run your ass over, or try to. But anyway, but yeah, he gave me a fucking ticket, and a fucking summons to court. And then I tried to call on the phone, and just deal with it over the phone, or over the internet. And I waited for like 35 minutes because, you know, they're like, oh, we have like 20 people in line ahead of you on the phone. I was just like, fine, whatever. I sat in my car and I wrote in my little notebook because I'm like, I'm waiting on it. I'm not doing the fucking callback. I'm waiting until it's my turn. And I got on the phone and they're like, you can't even start to resolve this until like March. I told them, oh, okay, because it said, or May or something like that. I was like, yeah, on the ticket it said, it had a date in May, but it said, deal with the ticket on or before this date, or before, you know, so I figured sooner is better, you know, but no, apparently I have to wait, so whatever, I got the ticket in my drawer up there, with my t-shirts and my underwear and shit, so, whatever, but that shit was stupid, that should not be against the law, oh, and I forgot the kicker is this, he said, because I was like, oh, you know, well, I basically essentially just said, like, well, if you say I went through the light, you know, because I didn't remember what I did and what I didn't, you know, I'm paying attention to the road, if there's other cars or pedestrians around, which there wasn't, and yeah, maybe I didn't see the stop line, you know, the stop sign, I got a lot on my mind, but I'm looking at the street to make sure I'm not gonna hit anything, you know, and he said, well, actually, you did slow down through the stop sign, but you just didn't stop all the way. I slowed down, bitch. That means I saw it, even if I don't remember seeing it. I slowed down. I'm from the city. I'm from the city. Like, I've lived in 2 cities now with aggressive drivers during the time that I've had a car. And everywhere, slowing down, especially if nobody else is there, is completely 100% acceptable to do at a stop sign. What the fuck kind of bougie ass town is this? It makes me want to never go back. I was cussing the fuck. Even though I was very polite to the cop because I don't want him to fucking tear my throat out and shit like that. You know, I was very nice to him. I mean, within reason. I didn't say thank you or anything like that because I think it's unacceptable to say thank you to anybody who punishes you. Unless it's like a fucking, well, I'm not even gonna get down that road. But anyways, I think it is unacceptable, 100%, to say thank you to a cop when they give you a ticket or get you in trouble in any kind of way for dumbass shit like that. You never say thank you. You just look at them like this, and then you just take the ticket and you don't say anything. And you just judge them with your eyes, but you don't say anything. And then you wait for them to give you the sign to leave. And then you leave. Anyways, but I was nice to him within reason, you know. And, but afterwards, when I was driving around that neighborhood, and I fucking took an extra long stop at every stop sign after that, I was cussing the fuck out of the whole damn neighborhood. I'm like, how dare you fucking hire your own personal cop for your own personal stop sign? Like, fuck every single one of you. You should all be ground up into dog food and fed to children in the third world. Fuck all you. Anyways, that was not my story, so let me do another video.